right, good afternoon, everybody. It is the 19th of February 2024. I'm going to do a series of voice notes to describe who a Disaster Relief CERT is as a NGO or non-government organization, which I will share to new members in particular as and when they join the Disaster Relief CERT introduction as to who we are, WhatsApp group. So first and foremost, I'd like to point out that CERT, Charlie Echo Romeo Tango, or CERT, is an acronym stating that we are a community emergency response team. And of course, this will be a volunteer network, as you will see when we look at our memorandum of incorporation. That being said, the three founding and incorporating directors, being myself, Chad Marlam, John Groom, and Stephen Reynolds, we decided at our initial board meeting that the company is a non-profit company without members, with the sole and principal object of preparing volunteers to provide disaster relief and assistance. And it is on this basis that we, in actual fact, incorporated the non-profit company. And as such, it makes us a non-government organization with a very specific intent, as I say, firstly, the sole and principal object of preparing volunteers. However, the company also aims to achieve this by establishing volunteer community emergency response teams. We also aim to achieve this through training CERT volunteers to be able to provide disaster relief and assistance to your local or their local communities. And thirdly, by creating disaster awareness within local communities for the need to prepare for disaster and on the importance of providing disaster relief. In addition to that, we also aim to achieve this by financially contributing when finances are available towards the associated costs of training volunteers, of equipping volunteers, and of course also looking at licensing a two-way radio network to have an effective emergency radio communication capability among CERT volunteers. And this money, of course, and financial contribution is dependent on funding and donations and sponsorships and grants and through other sources received, including having the disaster relief CERT volunteers contributing of their own accord as well. In addition to this, our additional aim is by undertaking supplemental operations, projects, or activities which the board may deem necessary to achieve the company object. That in a nutshell is basically who we are and who we stand for. I also need to state that we did register with SARS, SA Revenue Services, as a public benefit organization, where our public benefit activities are clearly declared as being a disaster relief. And it is on this basis that all donations that are made to disaster relief CERT, the donor, whether that be a company or whether that in actual fact be an individual, may request what is called a Section 18A receipt from Disaster Relief CERT, and they can offset those donations that they make on an annual basis against their annual income, whether that be from a salary or from any other profit-based income that the company may in actual fact declare. The advantages of this is that for the company and the donor, they can actually reduce their taxable income by bringing them down to a lower tax bracket. And of course, they would in actual fact enjoy the benefits of paying less tax. So in essence, where the company or the individual pays less tax, where they ordinarily would have had to have paid it, instead of paying it over as a tax, to put it in simple terms, this will in actual fact be made available as a donation to Disaster Relief Cert in order for us to assist financially in obtaining our aims and our goals. Right, I'm going to move on to voice note number 2, and we will continue the simplified introduction. Right, continuing with the Disaster Relief Cert introduction as to who we are as a non-government organization, being the 19th of February 2024, and these voice notes will be shared on the group initially and may be repeated from time to time or shared with new members to the group moving forward. In the previous voice note, I briefly covered our memorandum of incorporation and our registration as a non-profit company, as well as a public benefit organization. In this particular voice note, I want to just quickly lay out our vision, and of course that is to recruit volunteers, to facilitate appropriate training, organize and coordinate registered volunteers, create public awareness, and to support and assist local municipalities and national disaster management structures. And it is on that final note that I wanted to actually point out that our primary goal is not one of a first responder organization whereby we will run to motor vehicle accidents or any sort of emergency that arises within a community on a day-to-day basis, but rather we as registered volunteers will only be sought or deployed or required or dispatched as and when a disaster occurs, either within our local community or in our municipal area or even our provincial area, to the equal and qualified capabilities that we are in actual fact capable of providing to our communities. And that will be during times of a disaster. So we in actual fact will only become actively involved at the majority of times when a disaster or large-scale event occurs, which of course disaster being a situation where the local authorities and of course the local community are unable to cope with the incident of their own accord, and additional assistance, etc., is brought in. For the purposes of these voice notes, I'm not going to go into much detail with regards to the Disaster Management Act. However, we do operate within the constraints and in line with the purposes of the Disaster Management Act on a national, provincial, and municipal level as well. Now, outside of a disaster, many people ask, well, what can we in actual fact do to assist? Well, even as registered volunteers, you can most definitely assist in creating disaster awareness within your local community, whether that be through your social media accounts, your WhatsApp accounts, your groups, etc., etc. So anything that is put out from the disaster relief side, you can share that with your groups and help generate an awareness within the local communities of the potential risk of disasters coming or occurring. And then I think just generally to end off the second voice note, as I said, if you're not able to or capable of or do not wish to become a registered volunteer for deployment purposes, you can always assist by providing funding, whether that be on a donation or a sponsorship basis. And of course, I did cover the public benefit organization advantages in the first voice note. So even there, you can in actual fact assist us by providing financial assistance, specifically towards our, not only our monthly costs, you know, we still have to consider paying cell phone connectivity, internet connectivity, banking fees, that type of thing. So there are administrative costs that need to be paid up as well. And of course, all donations, I think it's 75% or 85% of all donations received will go towards assisting in training and other activities. And if I remember correctly, I'd have to go back on the board minutes. 15% of all donations are set aside to assist us cover administrative costs as a whole. Currently, the directors are busy covering the cost of and have been covering the cost of running the organization to date as far as admin fees are concerned. Right, I want to move on to the third, and I think it will be the final voice note. And I just want to explain what it is that we are looking for as far as registered volunteers are concerned. Okay, voice note number 3, as I continue the disaster relief cert, an introduction as to who we are as an NGO. It's the 19th of February 2024. And in a final closing, I would just like to point out that having already covered who we are as a public benefit organization, non-profit company, our funding model, and of course how people can assist both as volunteers in the general sense by registering, or in actual fact by providing any assistance financially. Now, registered volunteers, you're probably asking, well, you know, what is required of me? What's expected of me? Firstly, I think we need to cover the types of volunteers that or aspects of disaster relief where you could fit in. For example, you might be interested in or have a qualification in first aid, and therefore we're looking at level 3 first aiders, but also qualified people with basic firefighting. Then other areas that you can assist, and all of this is available on our website, disaster relief cert.org.za. Communications is another area. Logistical support, where you could in actual fact be in a position to either assist us in terms of administrative tasks or activities, both before and during disasters, or during disasters you might be able to provide transport capabilities, especially if you've got a truck or a bakkie or something along those lines. You might be interested in rescuing animals, or at least being able to take in animals, or even transporting of animals that are recovered and rescued out of a disaster area or zone, and perhaps get them off to shelters such as at the SPCA or any other shelters. In addition to that, you might be interested in care and comfort, or being able to assist children or look after children. You might be able to slot in, and majority of the people will be able to slot into evacuation center administration and assistance, as well as things like tracing and repatriation, which is more an administrative task. So there are many areas where you as an individual can in actual fact get involved and become proactive and even reactive post-disaster during times, that communities are affected. The other thing that is also vitally important is looking at emergency kitchens, supply of foods, etc. Like, for example, 26 units yesterday, the 18th of February, suffered the loss of their roof. And of course, these people now will not be able to use their units for several days to come. And the local community, i.e. through the disaster relief cert structure as a whole, or by having cert volunteers participating, could in actual fact set up emergency kitchens and at least provide those with those that were affected with hot meals. In closing, as I say, there's plenty of areas that you can get involved, and the best thing to do is register as a volunteer, because then at least we can take this into an area whereby we on the board level and the executive management level will know, who is available in what area. And this is a point I'd like to point out, that for an area such as Constantia Kloof, for 4,500 people, 20 volunteers may be required. However, if you take a look at a complex of 40 units, for example, or 40 units within a complex, to move or to carry one person out, you need a minimum of 4 volunteers who will be able to carry out an injured person following a disaster. So you can imagine we need a lot of volunteers in all of our areas. And then when you look at other suburbs, for example, like Florida, where they have a population of 35,000, well, I don't think 20 volunteers are going to be able to provide much assistance or be overall effective amongst 35,000 if the entire Florida area is affected. So I'd like to reach out to everybody that listens to these voice notes to please register as a disaster relief cert volunteer using HTTPS disaster relief cert, that's CERT.org.za, so that we can coordinate activities outside of WhatsApp groups such as this. I'm going to end this introduction off at this point. I think, if you do have additional questions, feel free to contact me. The name is Chad Milam. My cell phone number for WhatsApp is 082-859-2684. That's 082-859-2684. Thanks all. As I would normally end my voice notes, this is Chad, Echo 1 out.